Moving ahead, I would just like to brief upon the role of technology, a brief elaboration on the legislative part, what has been described by Lalit, and also touch upon what could be the real challenges in Indian scenario, with a brief mention what is the present situation as far as the ELBs are concerned. So these are the brief contents of my presentation, whereby it talks about the present ELV scrapping in India, standard ELV management process, which you all already are aware of. Then I talk about the brief Indian ELV scrapping standards, what have been notified. There would be a brief between the international standards. Then we talk about a slide on present recycling flows in EU and Japan. Then we talk about the ELV processing issues, look for some details in shredder residues management, and explore circularity. And in last, I would give a brief conclusion, what is my understanding of the sector. To start with, basically, I am supporting one company for setting up a facility in Delhi NCR. At the moment, we are focusing only to set up a facility for the two-wheelers option because of the low capex requirements and the area availability constraints. But once that is done, then subsequently it will be expanded to include the four-wheelers as well. So this is the present status of ELV scrapping in India. This ELV industry is driven by the following legislative policies and guidelines notified by Government of India. First is, of course, the Indian Steel Scrapping Policy in 2019. Then the recently notified Indian Vehicle Scrapping Policy 2021. Then, of course, this initiative is supported by National Urban Air Quality Campaign, because in cities like Delhi and other metros, the heavy traffic volumes have been held responsible for poor air quality. So ELV scrapping at least gives an options to remove the poor quality vehicles from the road. Then we are also driven by the National Resource Efficiency Policy, which of course identifies the steel, aluminum, and the plastic packaging sector as the priority areas. Then it is also testimony to the Indian National Emission Reduction Targets submitted to Paris Climate Agreement. And of course, the part of extended producer responsibility guidelines also, which are under consideration, because a plastic output is also taken out.
Barrett,
Yes,
sorry to interrupt, but a couple of people are saying that the slides are not moving at the correct time. This could be a case that you're not in presentation mode with your slide. So as you're clicking a button, it's not really actually activating the next slide to come along. So you might...
Is it okay? Is it okay now?
No, not at the moment. Can people help us here if they're seeing the slides changing or not? I'm just getting messages coming through that they're not. So we're now on slide 3.
Yeah.
And that's okay with you?
So is that okay? Should I continue?
Yeah, okay, let's continue and just see what happens.
Okay. So this is a graph showing what has been the growth sputtered by the automobile industry in the past years. So in 2014, we have almost 5 million vehicles according to the status of ELV, but only 4.1 lakhs were dismantled. Rest were dumped at garbage yards, which resulted in the loss of 0.3 million tons of steel and 0.4 million tons of aluminum, which could have been recycled. And interesting fact is that the maximum ELV status car which have achieved is the Alto and mostly the vehicles of Maruti. By 2021, it is expected that 9 million vehicles will achieve ELV status. And then coming to the right-hand side of the slide, so this is the ELV status shown in 2025 for all category of vehicles. On below that, I am trying to show the present activity areas which involve the ELV dismantling status by informal, non-formal sector, which talks about primarily of Delhi NCR areas and some parts of Kolkata, and of course some part of Chennai also in southern part of India. So these all has been very well elaborated by Mr. Lalit Sharma, and I won't go in much details. So now I'm going to move to the slide number 4. Are you able to see this? Hello? Hello? Hello.
Hello.
Can you see the slide 3?
Hello.
We're still on slide 3.
Oh, let me move out of the presentation mode actually, because that is creating a problem.
We
Is
now
it
have
okay now?
Slide 4.
Okay, thank you. So this is a brief process of ELV management. So I'm not going to go in detail because everybody is well versed of this. Now this is the slide showing what is the difference between the Indian ELV standards with European standards. So you can just so since the presentation will be shared later on, so I'm not going to go into details, and also to keep the nick of time, so I'm not going to read all the details. Then these are the standards comparison for European countries comprising the EU, Japan, Korea, China, and US. Which starts about establishing of ELV management system, talking about the background of the system, parties responsible for recycling costs. So a comparison has been there, and I hope it would give it would help people to have an insight. So you can always refer to the slide post presentation whenever it is made available. This is again a snapshot of the same extended to the recycling targets, information management, and of course describing the main characteristic of the system. Sorry for the too much material, but I didn't have time to separate it. So I'm really sorry for this inconvenience. Then this slide talks about the ELV recycling in EU and Japan, which already has been captured by my colleague Lalit. And I'm happy to share that we both have passed out from the same department, and I really feel proud for Mr. Lalit, who has been doing such a stupendous work in this field actually. Then this is a slide talking about the auto shredder residues management. Of course, on the right hand side you can see there's a treatment comparison chart given in which fluidized bed furnace is shown to be the best option for treating them. And there are basically two main basic approaches to auto shredders management: mechanical processes, which use system of magnetic separation. So we are talking about a dirty material recovery facility when we are talking about the recycling fraction of municipal solid waste. So it is almost similar to that composition, and we have to take an approach whereby we are designing the dry waste separation facilities for this facility as well. Already a number of configurations are available in the country, so I hope setting up a similar facility for the upcoming entrepreneurs and the future vehicle ELV facilities would not be a challenge. Of course, pyrolytic or chemical process and producing energy remains one option. Then this table shows exploring circularity with ELV management, which talks about the ferrous metal gaining a 68% share in majority, followed by the plastics and non-ferrous metal. Of course, as we move towards the plastic composition being added more to the vehicle body in order to make it lighter and fuel efficient, definitely we would be able to see a comparison of different composition for the auto shedding residues as well. So these all materials which are coming out of the vehicle shedding shows that these all are going to disrupt the existing markets as far as other material recycling markets are concerned. This slide I'm just trying to show the linkage of ELV scrapping policy with the National Resource Efficiency Policy, which was notified in 2019. So this policy shows about the economic, social, and environmental benefits with significant amount of savings drawn in terms of resource conservation, a reduction of carbon dioxide emissions from the industrial productions, and of course saving a lot of social conflicts reduction and improve affordability of the resource critical for poverty reduction and making it equal to the society in India. This slide shows how a battery is getting recycled in Toyota. So this is just an example to show how the things are working across the board. This slide talks about the multiple residues management with newly developed end-of-life vehicle for bumper recycling. So this is for one of the leading car manufacturers. I won't be able to share the name because of my understanding and some NDA signed with them. And now finally coming to the conclusion, what I would like to conclude is that India needs to explore optimized technology approach as far as electromechanical options are concerned. there is a lot of spade work required to define a minimum set of commercially available technologies which may be made accessible to local entrepreneurs willing to set up the ELV scrapping facilities. None of the companies in India produce auto-grade shredders, which might pose a challenge for setting new facilities. Since the facilities might involve an in-depth component related to hazardous waste generation and in-depth EHS aspect, it would be a challenge for first takeoff facilities to optimize the related performance. These ELV recycling facilities have potential to disrupt the existing dry waste and other hazardous waste markets. Hence, it may attract a lot of commercial realization with passage of time, as people tend to understand the market and the related incentives by setting up of these facilities. And challenges does exist to link and define legal compliances, and it will be a great challenge because of complicated mixture of materials emanating at these facilities. So this was my brief presentation.